Eventually, as you grow your light field, you become the one affecting the world around you in a positive way. So just recognize where you're at in that process of, am I the one positively affecting the world when I walk into a room? Or am I being affected negatively by the energetics that are in the room when I walk in? Boundaries. Let's talk about them. How do you know if you're actually holding appropriate, healthy, respectful boundaries for yourself that are loving, that are nurturing, that are actually supportive for the relationship that you're feeling like you have to hold a boundary for? For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Ava, and I channel a being named DiYeena. And for those of you who are coming back again, welcome. I hope you have your tea with you. And if you are new here, grab some tea or some water. Something, because DiYeena loves to sip the earth, and she'll invite you all to do that with her. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a backseat in my body, and we're going to bring in DiYeena and see what she has to say on the topic of boundaries and what we all can learn from holding healthy boundaries in all these different realms of existence. So here we go. Great. This is DiYeena of the Pleiadian Family. We are here first and foremost to bring the love. You see, we have to bring the love. You see, this is very, very important. You see, so here we are here, and we love to sip the earth with all of you here. So we have, well, something good here. This smells like Vermont here. Okay, so you have your tea. You can join us here, little tea ceremony. We'll get to sip tea with Pleiadian energy. You see, this is great. You see, great fun. So if you are new, if you are old school, whatever you come from here, write in the chat where you're from and what you're drinking today. If you have a little bit of something with you here we go. See what we are drinking today. Oh, she made it cold here. Okay, well, we'll have to tell her about that. You can tell her she doesn't like it too cold here. It is too cold here. Perhaps she has some warmer we can have next time. Okay, they're very good. It's still good. It tastes like Vermont, you see, but too cold for DiYeena. Okay, very good. So here we are. Boundaries. Oh, what an interesting discussion here, because it's all in perspective of what layer of perspective you're choosing to look at it through. So we're going to make big assumption here that we're all looking at it through third dimension, because that's where we are hanging out with our meat suits here. Some of you are moving out into 5D, and some of you are not really here in 3D very often because you're too scared to be in your bodies. But that's a whole nother topic for another discussion, right? Here we are talking about boundaries from a very human, grounded perspective, because it's very important to understand the nuances here. The nuances. How do you know when you are... when it is appropriate to hold a boundary? How do you know if it's putting up a wall here? What's actually happening here? So it's important to really understand the underbelly here, so that you can really make sure that you are moving with clarity in your world, you see. So at certain point, we have to really, really understand the play of the game here. So you can say, oh, we're all one. We don't even need a boundary, you see. And that is true at a certain level, at a certain perspective. And your soul is choosing to narrow the focus into 3D, Earth. You're right here, you see. So it's important that we play the game. We play the game of 3D. And in 3D, there's conditions, there's boundaries, there's separation, there's polarity. That's the name of the game. So you're signing up for the game. So if you're only going to play by some of the rules and not other rules, well, then you're not playing the game full on, right? So it's important that you come to 3D, you actually play by the rules. And this rub along a lot of you the wrong way who are rule breakers. We're not saying to not break the rules when you can, you see, because certain rules meant to be broken. But we're really talking about the dynamics of what it means to be embodied in 3D. You see, what it means to be here in Earth. And what it means is actually honoring. Honor, key word here. See as precious the perspective of every other human, every other being here, recognizing that we are all choosing to hold in consciousness a separate fractal of perspective. In that, we are meant to not agree with all of these perspectives. We are meant to not jive with all of them. It's part of the game. So there are going to be certain humans in your world that don't feel good to be around. There are going to be ones that just do not vibe with your vibe, and that's okay, you see. their soul song and your soul song. It's like you both have notes that you're playing in consciousness, but when you come together, it's like rubbing up a fourth and a fifth together rather than a third and a fifth. You see, it's a little more discordant. It doesn't mean it can't work together, but it's just not as pleasant to the ear, you see, as a nice harmonic chord, you see. So those harmonic chords are those that our soul family that we could get really grooving to, and we feel seen and heard by, and we love to be around. You see, they're uplifting. These are the ones where we have more in common on a sound level, you see. So that's one perspective, is that we literally have different sounds that part of our soul can hear. And so if we're not jiving with those sounds, well, perhaps we need to put up boundaries, we call them, you see. But here's the thing. How do we know why we got to look at why you're putting up a boundary? What is the boundary for? You see, have to go underneath the hood here, because if you're choosing to put up a boundary, it's because usually you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe, you see. So you put up a protection, right? Going to battle, you put up your shield, right? It's the same sort of thing, because you're not feeling safe around the other energy, whatever it is, you see. So you put up your boundaries, whether you are going into a city and you feel like you need to put on your cloak or your energy shield or whatever you're doing, or you're going in and talking to that aunt that just never sees you for who you are and you feel like you need the boundary, or an ex-lover or something like this, so this did not end well, putting up boundaries because we don't feel safe for whatever reasons, you see. So why we put up those boundaries? Okay, so then the other part here is looking at these places that we do not feel quote unquote safe. And can you actually look at, this is a big important part here, so lean in, listen in, grab your tea. Can you actually look at the parts that are in the person that you're looking at? You say, I don't feel safe around that, I better put up my boundary. And see it as an aspect of yourself that you have not gotten good with yet. So it's all frequency. So whatever frequency you're experiencing in another, if you are feeling unsafe, when you come up against that frequency, we're not talking personalities, we're looking at the frequency of what's happening there, the frequency that we're choosing to dance with or not dance with or put away, or say, I'm not going to play in that frequency, right? What is happening oftentimes, not all the time, oftentimes, is it's coming in because it's something that our soul's asking for resolution within our own cellular makeup. You see, something we haven't gotten good with inside, where we call it the shadow, whatever you want to call it here, but it's a part of frequency that your soul is saying, hey, what about me? Can we play? You see. And so recognize where it's coming from. If you're going, oh no, I don't like that. I'm putting up a boundary. I'm putting up a wall. I'm making space here because I don't feel safe. I don't like that energy. Or we have some sort of judgment or story around it. Notice if that is the case for the boundary, or if it's coming from a genuine place of clarity, purity, where there's no distortion, there's nothing getting triggered in your field. It's simply a clarity of, I'm choosing not to engage with that particular frequency because it's just not one I want to dance with, you see. And there's nothing in the field that says, oh, I'm afraid of that, or, oh, I don't like that, or anything like that. It's just simply not very interesting to me. I'm doing something different, you see. You're over here knitting a sweater and someone turns on the television, maybe you go and look at the show, or maybe you just keep knitting the sweater. You see, it's all choice and perspective of what you choose to engage with. And if it's interesting or fascinating to you, you see. So these are the reasons we go in, but the really underbelly, because we'll get to these places also on a more practical level. So DiYeena, well, what about the family members that we have to engage with, you see, and we don't get along, and it's not so complicated like what you're making it. It's very simple. We just don't like each other, you see. And I feel like I just need to kind of hold in my own energy a little bit stronger. How do I do that, you see? So this is necessary at a certain evolution of your own journey of kind of anchoring in your own magnetism of your own soul. See, when you're building that, when you're strengthening that field for yourself, Sometimes we are affected strongly by the world around us. Eventually, as you grow your light field, you become the one affecting the world around you in a positive way, most likely, you see. So just recognize where you're at in that process of, am I the one positively affecting the world when I walk into a room? Or am I being affected negatively by the energetics that are in the room when I walk in? And if it is the latter, if you're being affected, just take that as information of, okay, this is a reflection that I am needing to strengthen my energetic field in a little bit more of a stronger way, you see. And all that means is to bring more energy, bring more light, bring more life force, bring more love into your circuitry, into your own energy field. And there's a gazillion ways to do. You see, breathe it in, be in nature, do all these practices that are good and beneficial for your being. You see, do what feels inspiring. You see, be around inspiring people. Focus on what brings you joy. Focus on your gift. Focus on these kinds of things. You see, meditate. Do what feels right. You do what feels alive. Do what feels positive for yourself. You see, and these things bring energy to your form and allow the energy to move through. And that creates a stronger and stronger light. And that light becomes more and more impenetrable by nature. So then you're not having to put up walls and shields all over the place because you have such a powerful light force that nothing can penetrate, you see. And so that's really the simple way, you see. And as you're building that light force, you'll kind of have these tests along the way of, how am I doing? How am I doing? And then so you get these moments where like, oh yeah, that was real. I felt drained by the end of that conversation, or I wasn't quite able to feel like I could be myself in that situation, or whatever the case. We get these little feedback mechanisms, you see. So we do all of that, and then all of a sudden we kind of see, okay, this is where I'm at with that process. You see, so focus there, you see. And then as you are building that life force, if you haven't quite mastered that part yet, which who has, we're really always evolving and building it more and more all the time. So in that process, if you're needing to, the simple answer, my dears, the simple answer for how to hold a healthy boundary is to keep other humans as close as you can. That allows your heart to stay open. That's very simple, you see. So you allow people into your world close enough until you can keep that heart open. You see, if there's ever a moment where they come past that moment and you feel yourself tightening or closing or getting triggered or having a response that is not healthy, you see, that's your signal. Okay, this is the strength of my light being right here. Is this is about as close as others can get that are not of my preference of frequency. And that is really something that I can say, okay, there I am. You see, so that means I keep them this far for now, for today, for this moment, because this is how strong I am. So it's not about the other. It's really about yourself. It's not about, oh, we're going to keep the bad vibes out. We're going to keep the negative vibes out, because that implies a judgment. We're now judging and saying, oh, well, that's bad vibes. That's negative vibes. We don't want that in our life. We don't want that in our life. We want to keep it high vibe. Okay, well, okay. And that's not really the most beneficial, you see, to say, oh, we're just going to keep it high vibe, because that keeps you disconnected from what's happening here in reality of your earth body, you see. So you have to be willing to circulate and play in the realm where we are. And so to have a healthy boundary, you grow your light body. You anchor your light body. You increase the amount of light flowing through you. That is a simple answer. And as you do that, you strengthen your field in a way that naturally will repel the energetics that are not aligned, that are not vibing with your vibe, because vibe attracts vibe. Vibe vibes with vibe. You see what we say here? So it's a very simple equation. Wherever you're vibrating, that's what's going to come into your world. Whatever you're not vibrating can't meet you there. So if it's coming into your world, you're saying, oh, I don't like that. Usually that is a part of yourself saying, can we integrate this in a deeper way? Can we just get good with it? Can we get okay with it? You see, can we make peace with this particular frequency? That's all your soul's usually asking for is, can we make peace with this particular frequency? You see, so if it's coming into your field and you're feeling like, oh, we got to push that away, we got to put up a wall. Say, am I at peace with this particular frequency, whatever it is? Not the person, the frequency they're bringing into your field that you don't like, because it's not really the person you don't like. It's the circuitry that's being created that you are having a resistance to. And that is the circuitry that's alive in you, my dear, or that's asking for some attention. So pay attention there. Notice that. Get good with that. You see, and when you come to peace with that frequency, you will notice that the external naturally reorganizes. The people, the places, the circumstances, they all have to reorganize to meet you at the frequency and the information that you're choosing to resonate at. So the more you focus on building your light body, increasing your light in your own energetic field, you don't even have to have the boundaries conversation as much, because you're strong in yourself, my dears. So may you all be blessed to be strong in yourselves, that their boundary conversation gets effortless, gets easy, gets so beautiful, that you're able to circulate in the frequency of love, recognizing that we are all playing in consciousness in all the frequencies, and that there's no right or wrong frequencies. There's only the flow consciousness moving through us all. And our desire for boundaries is simply the places we have not said, I love you to. So may we be able to say, I love you to all the frequencies in consciousness, recognizing the blessing that they bring, recognizing the blessing that we all are, that we all get to share with one another. We love you, dear ones, and we hope to see you again very soon. Cheers to you all with the tea, and we'll be back very good, very shortly, my dears. I trust that message was exactly what you needed to hear today. And if you liked it, please, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And also head over to the website, avaora.com/live to connect with DiYeena Live. It's a monthly live broadcast that we do every single month. It's a place where you can go to get your questions answered directly by DiYeena. So if you are interested in that, hop over there and get the details. And we'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining. We'll see you soon.